Hello and welcome to a new edition of Business Insider. I'm Mohammed Abdurrahim and I'm sitting in for Ayman Salah for this episode. We'll be talking about entrepreneurship in Egypt. Entrepreneurship, definitely a key factor for economic growth in Egypt. We'll be talking about the government support for small and medium enterprises, the government support for small businesses and entrepreneurship in general, and the challenges facing this key element of economic growth in our big economy. We'll be first taking a short break and then we'll be back with our news headlines. Please stay with us. Welcome back, dear viewers. We will have a very distinguished guest here in the studio, and we will also make a live phone call with another distinguished guest to give us their input and their view again on this key element, entrepreneurship, a key element of economic growth in the big economy of Egypt. First, with some of the major news headlines that we have prepared for you. The Arab Contractors Company has been awarded the construction of a 150-kilometer road in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the DRC. The project will be built with 110 million Egyptian pounds in investments to be financed by the European Development Fund. The head of the company, Engineer Sayed Farouk, said that the construction work will include building 3 bridges as well as establishing 33 water drainage systems. The project to protect the road. Moreover, he unveiled that the company, the Arab Contractors, has recently established a 5-story building of the Congolese Ministry of Defense. So Egyptian presence in Africa as always there. And the Abu Ir Fertilizers and Chemicals Industries Company, the Halwan Fertilizers and Al Ahli Capital Housing have signed an agreement for the establishment of a new company for the production of methanol, ammonia and petrochemicals, according to a statement released by the cabinet here in Cairo. The new company aims at meeting the local market's big demand for methanol and its derivatives and exporting the surplus abroad. Abu Ir Fertilizers will hold a 35% stake in the new company, and the HFC will own a 35% stake as well and will represent the remaining stake. 30% will be represented by Al Ahli Capital's ownership. HFC is the Halwan Fertilizers Company. The first stage of the new company will be carried out at an investment cost of 1.6 billion Egyptian pounds, with an estimated annual production capacity of 1.40 million tons of ammonia. The project is set to be built at the General Authority for Suez Canal Economic Zone in Ain As-Sukhna. And Egypt is receiving 1 million doses of Vaxera, the Sinovac vaccine. Egypt has received the first batch of the locally produced Vaxera Sinovac vaccine as per a cooperation agreement signed between Chinese-based Sinovac biotech company and the Egyptian holding company for biological products and vaccines, Vaxera. The Minister of Health, Dr. Hala Zaid, revealed in a statement. The 1 million doses of Vaxera Sinovac vaccine have been distributed over the vaccination centers across the country, the minister added. For his part, the spokesperson of the health minister, Dr. Khalid Megahed, said that Vaxera is currently completing the production of 15 million doses of the vaccine, noting that this number represents the monthly production capacity of the company. The Sinovac vaccine has been obtained, the emergency use license by the Egyptian Drug Authority, the EDA, after passing all the required evaluation tests. Those were our major news here in this episode of Business Insider. Up next is our distinguished guest here in the studio to talk about entrepreneurship, a key component of growth in Egypt. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us and welcome back, dear viewers. Time now to introduce you to our guest here in this studio, Dr. Jihan Zahran, Innovation and Education Consultant. Thank you very much, Dr. Jihan, for joining us here on INTV International. Allow me first of all to ask you, many analysts and economic experts believe that entrepreneurship is a key component of job creation and economic growth for any economy, and especially an economy like ours, a big economy like ours. So your input on that.
Okay, regarding to that point, I'll tell you. So when you start an entrepreneur and when you just develop a new business in the market, so you are creating a new market. So definitely you are creating a new titles, a new jobs opportunities. So that's why they are talking about this point. So when you are having the key development all the time, different field of projects and startups and small projects or big projects. So all of that giving, like you have a lot of people just starting to get to be an employee in your business. So that's why they're talking about this part you're talking about.
Yes. How do you see the need for new models here in Egypt that capitalize on the country's human resources?
Let's talk about what is an entrepreneurship model and the right model and the model that we have to guide to. And then we can talk about what we can do in our country. Regarding the beginning, so this entrepreneur needs a little bit skills. They need to have some skills in their character to start and startups, to be an entrepreneur. When they got to be an entrepreneur, so it's done coming suddenly. They have challenges just to go in. They need to face some things first. And this is not the whole atmosphere that we are working in. Entrepreneur now, it just, like a trend. Or everyone, I'm talking about the terms of entrepreneurship in Egypt and the region especially. We need it a lot. But how can we have the good guideline to go in entrepreneurship? Because we don't have this, like guideline. We have models, but we cannot go back to say, oh, this is the guideline I would go in. Except that we are having in papers, in business, and studying. So that let us come to education and tell us exactly that skills have to come from the beginning, have to come from the childhood, from the preschool, when they got pre-university, the skills that we have it with the curricula that you are studying, that come to you to improve the skills of entrepreneurship. Because what we're doing, especially in the schools, that we are giving the students some projects. Maybe he is a very low marks in all his assignments, but he's very good in projects. He can do things by his own. So, and that's let us come back to creation and innovation and improving their skills for students from the beginning, to give them that skills. So when they grad from the university, they know exactly where to go and what to do.
So there's that big link between entrepreneurship and innovation in general.
Yeah.
What would be a good success rate, percentage-wise, for entrepreneurs? And by success, I mean having their business succeed. What would be a good percentage of success in an economy?
Do you mean the percentage of success of any model?
Yeah.
How can it measured?
Yeah, I mean, the entrepreneurs succeeding. I mean, seeing their business growing and creating jobs, and not just a one-shot, continuity.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, when I get an entrepreneur, I have to answer so many important questions. Okay, that so many important questions come from the business model. I have to make my business model first. I'll ask some important and guideline questions. Who I'm gonna get to that product or service? Okay, is that really benefit to the market? Is that acceptable to the market? So I have competitive here in that product or not? What else if I start my own business, which is really, it is a repeated idea or it's a new one? Is that service really get to all the markets that really I'm gonna do or not? So all of that things, I have to answer these questions before I really start. I have to have a clear vision, okay? And a good path to really how this want to gonna be later on. And this is a profitable or not? Is that gonna give me a profit, as non-profit, or just an economic profit? All of the questions I have to answer it before I start the entrepreneur or the startups. And then we can start to know exactly where to go, all right? So when I measure the successful things, we have a lot of models here in Egypt with teenagers, by the way, 19, yes, 19 years old to 23. They got very successful entrepreneurship projects. But
Very good to hear.
These young people, when they start to do their own projects, they pass a lot of stages and levels. But they have the challenge, they have the creation, and they non-stop. So there is a lot of insights they do, along with the good plan, the clear plan, all right? So the systematic plan. So both are having, like in parallel line together to know exactly if this is successful, an entrepreneur startup's product or not.
Yeah. And which domains, Dr. Jihan, which sectors of the economy see most entrepreneurs going to? Agriculture, services, industry, textile, I don't know. You tell us.
So first of all, we just to know our resources in our country first. What needed to be improved, right? There is a lot of fields are really neglected, and we have the main resources for it. And there is a lot of resources that's really having a step and need to be improved. So we have so many things actually, especially when I talk about Egypt, we have so many fields need to be improved and need to be, like having startups and everywhere. Because there is a model in the startups called SME, small model in entrepreneurship, and this related to the local market, most of it. And this is very successful, by the way, because it's always going to the market of the labor market. So what needed to the market is, here is a thing that really having a lot of cities in Egypt need to be improved. In agriculture, for example, there is a lot of areas need to be having that, and there is a lot of areas also in industries. There is a lot of factories doesn't work like before or doesn't work at all. So situation analysis or the analysis of the things that own the market and give us the idea of that gives a lot of things. When we do, of course, a plan, as you know, we get the info, the information about things, and we study and we make the situation analysis for that. When we get the situation analysis, we know exactly where to start. For Egypt, there is a lot of fields need to be improved. There is a neglected, as I said, and there is something need to be improved in all the fields. We still have these new ideas of entrepreneurs. Okay, we having lots of successful, but still not all the one really having the good guide of it, and they need to have things from the beginning. And maybe this is something that I have to address to the instructor and educators and teachers. Once we having this here Now we have the curricula is very easy, not like before. We have something easy for us. So please take care of the skills and creation and innovation for the students. And this is the main thing in the future that really needed.
That's a very important point you are stressing upon, Dr. Jihan. Definitely a very, very important point. So, how do you see the government's support for entrepreneurs, for some of the models of entrepreneurship, as you mentioned, as SMEs, for instance, as startups, as the general support by the government for entrepreneurs? How do you see it?
Actually, what I see is an open market, okay? And it's open for all the citizens to start with. Once you have an idea and you have something in a good plan, I think nothing can stop them. There is no like before. There is no, okay, before there was a bureaucracy and something that really challenges. And maybe there is, now it's the technological and the internet and researches. It will make entrepreneur really open to globally know everything that they can. Easy and cheap, all right? And when we see that model of young people, as I told you just a minute about the Egyptians, young people that did a lot of projects here in Egypt, you will see them that really having no challenge. They just keep on going, and what they can say insights for the entrepreneurship, that they are didn't accept the fear, all right, and they accept the social responsibility. And so they cross everything that maybe can stop them. So what else they can do to continue with the atmosphere that we have it right now is completely different. Things are open, not like before. So, and that's really good atmosphere that they can start. Education is open. Global is open. Network. Everything, courses, free courses, that everything that's giving this, and models also, and the guideline. So whether these models is in global or international or local one.
As you said, you know, technology has changed a lot of things. Has made a lot of things easier and cheaper, as you mentioned. Now, I want to ask you about the difference between, you know, planning and then, you know, executing, implementing your plan. I mean, what's more, certainly, I mean, the two steps are more important than the other, but what I'm asking is, can somebody succeed with a good plan and an average execution, or a moderate plan and excellent execution? I mean, what's more important, if there is one factor that is more important than the other?
Okay. Of course, both of them are very important, but I can, I'll tell you just in a very simple way. Do you have a very good strategy? All right, very good strategy and very good plan, and it's well made by very expert people. All right, and after you finish it, it is in the drawer. So what the use of it? Okay.
You see this happening a lot?
A lot. But if I have a plan, a moderate plan, and I keep following up mentor, I keep following, I keep improving, because one of the insights of the entrepreneur is to tell them, come on, when you get to succeed, you have to know exactly that there is a room to improve.
Definitely.
So if I started with a model or a moderate plan or a medium level plan, as we can say about that, and I keep improve that all the time with the implementation, all right, of course, it's more important or more successful than a very good plan and I did not go the implementation with the right way. Okay?
Sure.
So that's my point of view.
Very clear.
That's
and convincing as well. Okay. With us now, live over the phone, Dr. Jihan, dear viewers, is Dr. Mahmoud Baraka, an economic expert. Thank you very much, Dr. Baraka, for joining us.
Hello, thank you, and let me thank you for this hosting, for you and for Dr. Jihan.
Thank you,
Saying hello to you,
Thank you,
Dr.
Dr.
Jihan.
Mahmoud.
Dr. Baraka, we're talking about entrepreneurship in Egypt and how big of a factor or how important of a factor is it for economic growth and for job creation and the challenges facing entrepreneurs in Egypt and the government support for entrepreneurs. We want your input on the issue.
Okay, let me tell you something regarding if you are talking about the young people or whoever is heading to have an entrepreneurial opportunity. It's his third path towards getting economic benefits or doing economic activity. Let's think of this. First, he can work as an employee somewhere, and this is a privilege not available to most of the people in most of the governorates to earn a living, a good living from having his own salary from certain company or the government. The other thing is to have his own ordinary project and to work on small size projects, even big size projects. And currently, this may work for some people, but not actually also available for the others who may be more interested into the tech, for example, or other innovative disciplines. So for so many people, once before I met some university grads, and they were girls, I think, as I remember, and they told me after the graduation, we may be like the people waiting for something to happen. And the most fortunate of us forget the wedding as soon as possible. Because actually she has one of two options. Either to travel if she is from Lower Egypt, which means from the cities and the governorates close to Cairo, either she can travel to Cairo for like 3 to 4 hours daily, and that's really tough for any person to be here for long periods, or to go and work at her local city for 400 to 800 pounds a month, and that's 3 salaries when you talk about other governorates other than Cairo. So the entrepreneurial path is their only escape valve into this life or in this situation. How important it is? Like, think of it, now we are employing more than third of the non-employed economic power. So if you add this to the GDP, this would be great. It's important for the government, and it's working in it, yet it's working in it for the main challenges. Believe me, it's only one word: accessibility and equal opportunity. Give the people equal opportunity for the funding programs. Give people equal opportunity for exposure to experts. Give people equal opportunity for having the knowledge necessary to handle such projects, entrepreneurial projects, and you will find miracles. We have such great people, especially the young ones, all over Egypt. You'll be astonished and surprised of how good minds and hearts are there for every person. So I hope I could have answered your question.
Yes, you have, Dr. Baraka, profoundly so. One more question, if you will. I want to know, in your opinion, what are the main sectors that should draw more and more entrepreneurs, and where there is a big chance for a job creation through entrepreneurship in the Egyptian economy?
Okay, let's talk in two parallel things. We have those most attractive everywhere, and that's most of the entrepreneurs go to, which we can name the tech disciplines, whatever it's fintech or whatever tech discipline. And actually, after the coronavirus, it proved that the only fields and disciplines that stopped still and resisted the whatever economic deterioration and recession happened through the COVID to other sectors.
Yes.
Other thing is there is something called SDGs, or Sustainable Development Goals. So whatever you can follow for having some sort of innovative economic activity, either in the supply chain, either in the process, either in the product itself and its benefit package, for whatever service that may be offered now that may alleviate people from poverty, giving them better health, giving them better education, giving them better energy accessibility, giving them less polluted things. Those 5 attributes are the most prominent worldwide. After this, the fintech, which is like the tool that you can like execute and sustain all of these services. So mainly fintech, and then follow the SDG, Sustainable Development Goals.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mahmoud Baraka, economic expert, for your very useful input. Thank you for your time as well, sir. Now back to Dr. Jihan here in the studio. Dr. Jihan, Egypt has successfully established many incubators, providing a stepping stone for local entrepreneurs. Would you brief us on those incubators and their work?
Yeah, I just want to comment about something that Dr. Mahmoud said, and it's really important because there is an entrepreneur in Egypt a lot, but they really need the awareness. They need to know what to do. Even if they really not to know what to do, they have a lot of ideas in creation things. And, but they need someone just to guide them. As really the technological way that nowadays and after COVID-19 and people are going to network more than before. And it's easy now to give them the awareness of what is an entrepreneur. And maybe when they know what is an entrepreneur, they really need to start directly with that. And we have a lot of things in all the cities like that. Regarding the incubators. Here in Egypt, there is a lot of things that really having unfocus and a lot of unfocus things. So we have focus and unfocus. As I told you in the things in the young people that really having, like, I don't want to mention names of the companies that really created, for not making any advices to them. But I will tell that they're tearing what they say, they're tearing the common things that they're really having in the content or in the culture. They really break down everything right now. Especially when they know the story about these young people and how they already started in 2014. After a lot of things happen in Egypt, and really get the teamwork. So I'm going to focus on the teamwork skills that they really came together with. This is the essential thing that they really started later on to have their own projects and really get successful and become a global projects right now. The teamwork that really got this young people together, and they continue, as we said, and you really mentioned how important it is. The important it is not only the following up and the continuously that they having the entrepreneurial mindset, they also have the teamwork together, and they really keep their ideas and keep the challenge and really having this all time by time. When they asked me about how Egypt exactly and support the entrepreneurs, these young people, they don't have any support, by the way, although that they have a lot of support and fund right now. But they really need to know, where is that fund, okay? Is that clear where? Where is the legal place that to go and having the good way of having that fund? These young people, they would have this fund before, but now there is a complete system of entrepreneur in Egypt, having by so many ministers right now. Especially they are adopt the ideas and having a lot of supporting with the training, with courses, and also the awareness that we're talking about. So what I want to say is that, so we have to still having the support, but forget about the support. Take care about your own thing, having your own passion, and do it, and look for the support as general things that is already done here in Cairo.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you know, the Egyptian economy is open. It's a big market, and the bureaucracy is not like before.
Exactly.
So things are
flexible.
Flexible, and are open for those you know, brilliant young minds who want to take on entrepreneurship. But does it take any cap? I mean, is it important? Is it all about funding? Is it about the capital? Can I just have a great idea without capital and still be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, of course, definitely. That's why I'm telling you that the teamwork. So the teamwork is someone exactly having the plan and the other getting the idea. And the other one is looking for the fund.
Yeah.
And the fourth, he maybe get to take care of the following up.
Yeah.
So that the teamwork is already having in any business. Nobody can stand alone.
You as an education and innovative consultant, would you advise many youth now to try to consider seriously entrepreneurship as a career?
I cannot say that having this as a career, but when you think about it, this is the future. Okay, this is the future of any society. Entrepreneurship is something that really we have to learn from the beginning in our education. We have to start up our own project, and that's what should education focus on, not only just in answering questions and know exactly what's going on and just putting some info on the paper. Now we have to take care more percentage on the project created. That makes us a little bit know exactly how important it is. I have a little bit story about interactive learning when I was just training some of really young people who is really having their device, okay, and that device is enrolled to really technological server, and it cannot be unmanaged. But we found out that one of the devices is already out of the system. So we brought the device, and we know exactly. It was, by the way, a grade 5 student. All right, this grade 5 student, he knows exactly how to get out of the server. He got bit out of the enrollment of his device. Okay, he just created a thing. He want to be free out of restrictions. All right, so we understood in that this young boy is already more than, I think, like 10 years. I think so. He just go by his own and he gets searched technologically more than the people who was already created that server and software. They couldn't manage it after 2 years. They couldn't know exactly how to solve the problem, and he just did it by his own. What I want to tell you is just giving the hand to this mindset to that young people that we're having in education and in schools, pre-university education, especially that I'm focusing on. Just to focus on the creativity and the skills. And this is very easy nowadays, especially that we having more international curricula.
More distance learning.
More distance learning, more technological, like before. I'm not talking about all kind of education, by the way, not only specific one. But now everything that we can get it easily. But teachers and educators, please focus on something like that. There is a lot of things that you need to improve the skills or guide the skills. Most of the students, when they grad, they don't know exactly where to go in universities till the last moment. Okay, in the high school right now, they don't know exactly where faculty I can go because they don't know their own skills. They don't know it. But if they know it from the beginning, or even in the middle school, they know exactly where to go easily. And they know exactly where to go, whether an entrepreneur or they go in another field of things.
It's a very important point that you kept pressing upon, Dr. Jihan, indeed, you know, enhancing your skills, knowing your skills, developing your skills, and getting a guide to, you know, to help you train yourself so as to improve your skill. Very, very important point. We have a minute left, but certainly it's a point that should be considered seriously. I think we are getting there, aren't we? I mean, some
we are in the
schools,
process,
some-
actually,
yeah,
in that.
Yeah.
This is what I can say.
Yeah.
According to what I saw in some of the rules, in some of the legal things that really happen in universities, that's the partnerships. And they know exactly how to know global-wise the ideal standards, the global standards, the criteria that we're really following right now is completely different than before. And we have a different generation. So we have to take care of this. We have to know exactly that they are better than us in a lot of fields.
Yeah, that's very true.
So we need to focus
This will be a
on
very
that.
different world
We
10,
need to-
20 years
we
from
need
now.
to
This will be a
invest-
very different world.
We need to
Yeah.
invest actually in the kids.
Yeah.
We need to know exactly, to guide them, to tell them exactly what to do from the beginning.
Very true.
It will be a good path and shortcut path to them.
Absolutely. On that note, dear viewers, on behalf of you, we thank very much our dear guest here in the studio, Dr. Jihan
Thank
Zahran,
you.
Innovative and Education Consultant. Thank you very much.
Thanks
It's
a
been a
lot.
pleasure.
Me too.
And dear viewers, thank you for joining me here in this episode of the Business Insider. Ayman Salah will be here back next week. Until we meet again, this is Muhammad Abdurrahim, and this is goodbye.